Welcome to Frank's Cantina. Y'all cannot go to the bars and drink, so you might as well drink here. And of course, as always, I've got my cobber, Mr. Peabody, and my very, very good friend, Brian the Observer, who, as you see, is the only person in the middle of two dogs with a pussy cat.
Actually, no, that looks like a possum.
That's a bush baby. You should know.
But as we all know, Brian the Observer, and love Brian the Observer, everybody here knows Brian has kitty cats. So he is the poor guy stuck in between the dog clan with a putty cat. Giggity. But yes, I'd like to say hello to Tommy, who we've got in our chat and has been here for a while. Unfortunately, he cannot join us. But he's more than welcome to, as always. We love Tommy. We see him everywhere. I'm pretty sure Bionic Belly Button is listening to us as she's doing her studies. You study hard, girl. I know we've invited DJ D, Jason Muse, who I'm sure will not be showing up, but that's okay. I still sent him the invite since he's been hanging out with Frank lately on his Twitch streams and talking to Frank. And I've been putting up funny sound bites and whatnot of him talking to Frank. Because when you got a celebrity that's talking to your wiener dog, I mean, to put that shit on Twitter, but yeah, Jesse from the Crow's Nest invited him, and quite a few, very many other people that are all more than welcome to join at any point in time if they can. If not, you got the original three. You've got myself and Mr. Peabody and Brian the Observer for another lovely edition of Frank's Cantina.
Hey, Tommy, how you going? And was the other girl here, the nursing student?
I'm going to assume that Bionic Belly Button is listening because I know she told me she was going to be listening. So I'm, pretty sure she's just listening. Whether or not she might not be in the chat yet, but I'm sure at some point she'll post something up.
Well, if she's listening and she needs to bounce any ideas, she can bounce ideas because nursing is a hard thing to study because it's not just one aspect of it. You do the physical aspect and you do the mental aspect, but you also do the study aspect. So there's quite a bit to go in there. So if she needs to bounce ideas, let her know that she can bounce ideas.
All right.
I know that didn't make much sense, but I'm sure it will make sense to her. No, the fact is that there's aspects to it that you have to do. And also, if you're a shy person, it's really bad being a nurse. It's like it's really bad. You have to change your attitude really fast because you cannot be a shy person and be a nurse at the same time.
She's got the one thing that you didn't have. She is a Bionic Belly Button, so she's good to go.
She's probably perfect to go. It's like but it's like when I started nursing, because right through, through school, right through high school, I was very introverted. But when I got to university and I was studying nursing, it's like I learned very quickly. It's like you can't be a shy fuck. You can't because there's stuff that you're going to be exposed to that is going to be right in your face. And so I had to change the way I dealt with everything. And so it's not that I became an extrovert. It's just that I accepted a whole lot more into my little world. And one of the things you've got to do is you've got to be an advocate for the people that you're taking care of. And if that girl is listening, she'll understand what I mean. You've got to be an advocate.
She's here. Like I said, she's right there. She's in the chat. I knew she'd be listening, and I know her from our Overlord DVD Doomcock. That's where her and I met. She's a great person, and I've been able to message back and forth with her for over a year now. But yeah, she's real nice, and her and her family and everything. It's just great. The communities that all come together from YouTube. For me and Peabody, of course, it was Odin's Movie Blog. Brian, for you and me, we just met due to Bonnie streams and whatnot. But DJ,
I would say we just met because
no, but how we met,
okay. I was gonna say it's been over a year.
Yeah, it's been over a year, but I mean, it was following some of the same channels, DJ D Show. Bonnie had a lot to do with it because that's how we first the first time I met you was through that, but you'd seen us on me and Peabody on DJD. So yeah, it's just one of those things. It's really nice to see everything go full circle where now we're all live streaming and hanging out and able to talk and have a good time, where a long time ago, didn't know any of these people. It's like, holy crap, so how different things are, for Mr. Peabody and I, it's been over 3 years. You and I, it's been at least over a year. But, now we're on each other's streams. We're all having, good times with plenty of good people like Tommy. It's great to have everybody together, especially right now. I mean, I think right now it's more important than ever for people to be able to get together just to, have a good time, shoot the shit, because, well, what else have we got to do? So,
I was like, she said, who let the dogs out? I think you're going to scream that if I turn the camera on. Because yesterday I washed my hair.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good old Chef. I've met him through Brian stuff, so I mean that's the thing. That's where I met him from, was through you, Brian. So I mean,
Chef's a lady though.
Yeah, but I'm okay, met her through you. So, it's just literally one of those that's just kind of how it goes. It's like, all right, cool. You meet all these interesting new people. Tommy, hell, I don't even remember how the hell I met Tommy. I think it was just basically in a stream. Whose stream I couldn't even tell you, but he was just there. And then the next thing I know, he's in another one. So I start messing with him and went and watched one of his reviews on the lightsabers and was here on Frank's account going, hey, now I want one of those that will fit in my paw. And he thought it was great, so he's one of the very few people that figured out that myself and Frank are the same person. So that was really, really funny. So yeah, but I mean, I've seen him in numerous channels that I've been subs to for years, and it's always good to see everybody around and in each other's streams. I saw
Tommy was I think I might have met him through Moira's channel in the chat. It might have been another channel, but that's where I remember seeing him a lot, and he started following me. And then during the time of the whole what do you call, like the new YouTube terms of service was at the same time as the whole COPPA thing. And so he gave me a lot of information on that. It's like, I'm going to give you a wrench, man. Here, have a wrench because you've earned it, because, I mean,
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, and that was, I don't think I've ever been on stream with him, but
I tried. I did invite him tonight. I have never been on a stream with him. He was on the fan cast, which was Brian Lape's channel, which was off World Class Bullshitters and stuff. How I know Brian Lape. Tommy was on there with the Appalachian American. Some of the guys, I'd catch their streams on Fridays when I could prior to going to work. But I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, I've seen Tommy on so many streams, but I've never had a chance to have him, catch up on one to be all together. And that's what, me, man. It's like, hey,
he's got
to throw out an invite to Jason fucking Muse saying, hey, Muse, if you're not doing anything, you feel like it, jump on here. I sure as shit am going to invite Tommy, of all people, who I know better than I know Jason Muse. So, and for the poor Ozzy, he's like, who the fuck is Jason Muse? But it's okay. We won't hold that against you. It's just, it is what it is. That's the whole point of these streams, is just everybody getting together, have a good time. It's 9:29 p.m. our time Eastern. Mr. Peabody, of course, it's, 9:29 a.m. And of course it's a day ahead. So you're Wednesday. I'm still in Tuesday. You're 12 hours ahead. The future's bright, so bright he's not wearing shades yet, but that's okay. We won't hold it against him.
Well, you can see the future's bright because it's coming through the window.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Tommy is everywhere. Unlike Star Trek Discovery, Tommy is everywhere and on every channel doing his thing, and everybody loves him for it. That's the thing. So, we love Tommy. Tommy's, he's everywhere, and his lightsaber stuff is awesome. I had fun watching that, and he just did, which was fun as hell. I caught it thanks to what was it, Fandom Menace. He was doing a thing on his take on Blade Runner, and it was a really good movie review. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty bad when it comes to catching a lot of stuff on YouTube. I do the best I can when I can, but I saw that and I was watching it and I was like, man, this is really good. I really like his perspectives on it and the way he did his spin on doing a review on it was very entertaining. And I even messaged him and let him know, man, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I shared it on, Twitter and everything, saying, hey, check out our buddies, review. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've seen other people do reviews that are just stale. Tommy's was a fresh take on an older classic movie that we all love. So it was just really cool to see him do one up, and I mean, like I've said before, shit, there's not really a whole lot going on for any of us. So when you get things like that, it's awesome.
So let me ask you this, Mr. Peabody. Does the World Health Organization do anything in Australia? Have they done anything for you in the hospitals you worked at?
Well, this is the interesting thing. Like when 20 years ago, the World Health Organization was a big thing. Now they're crap. But back when, I was studying and doing all my things, World Health Organization was a big thing, and we had to pay attention to everything they said. But now the shit they're coming out with is crap. So they're not the same. They're not the same organization that they started off to be. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah. That's
But yeah, now they are a shell of what they used to be. What they used to do is set standards. So it set standards for health around the world. Now they just do this political thing that don't make any sense at all. So what they were and what they are now are two completely different things. So do I listen to them? No. If that makes any sense.
Oh, Justin Proper's here.
DJ. Yeah, he doesn't get away. He doesn't get away with the pulling off that shit. What's up, Proper Jeremy?
What's up, man?
He escaped the apocalypse.
You are the only guys who are allowed to say that. Just you two.
Hey,
you escaped the apocalypse. We saw you. I watched you escape the apocalypse. It was fantastic. I love watching you drive. I really did.
The way I look at it, Justin Proper will always be Proper Jeremy to us, just like, the Continuum will always be CT to me because that's who he was when I met him. But no, Justin, he's done his own thing. I've known him for quite a while. Great dude, love him to death. I'm glad he's just a state away, 4 hours away. So, once all the insanity ends, we can actually get together and hang out because shit, California's just a wee bit further of a drive for me.
Well, Justin, what we'll do is if I do win the lotto, hopefully I do, we'll do a parody. We'll do a parody segment where you'll play Mad Max.
That's not going to happen. You need an Aussie for that.
I don't even know.
Oh, you never seen Mad Max? Outside of Fury Road. What's that?
It's a little fuzzy on my end. I'm on mobile, so.
Oh,
all good.
That's all right. But no, I just want to say that I thoroughly enjoyed your drive. Because
thank you.
Because I've said this to Adam. Every time Adam takes me for a drive, I love it. And when you took me for a drive, I loved it.
Oh yeah, well, thank you. This is the goal. Is that I just wanted to just for a little bit to go live for a little bit. It was a little spotty. It was kind of fun. I didn't really listen to all that much music. I was on the phone with people most of the time, so it was kind of nice. But yeah, man, just so much has happened so fast in the last month. It's just it's been a nightmare.
Of course, if you did the same thing in Australia, you would have lost your license.
Oh, what, live streaming and
you would have lost your license as soon as they would have seen the camera on. They would have said, "No, you lose your license. That's it, done." Because even in Australia, even if you've got a passenger that's filming anything with their camera with their phone, you lose your license. It's that bizarre. But it's like, so I was watching the whole time thinking, Jesus, man, keep the camera down. Keep the camera down.
Oh no, people don't give a. People don't care around here. They're like, that's cool, as long as you're focusing on the road. Like I've had YouTube videos playing while I was like looking at my map. It's not but there's only so much you can do when it says like in 987 miles, keep going on the highway. Then I'm like, well, shit.
When you said you were going to drive straight through for a 27-hour drive, I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I could possibly do that. I know my brother could do it, but I was thinking, you are not trained for that shit, my friend.
Well, the only good thing was like I know proper, personally enough to say, like he's got my number, and it was one of those things where it's like if something happens, call me, because his family's in Ohio, which is further. It's like, dude, I'm close. If I can help you, I will. That. So I mean, it was literally one of those. It's a long trip. I had a buddy that did the same thing. He moved from Santa Clarita to, he ended up moving back up here and then moved to Niles, and he's down in Indy now. So, I mean, it was literally one of those things where it's like, if you need me, you've got my number. Don't hesitate to call, because that's the thing. You want your buddy to be okay, especially on those kind of trips.
Well, I was a little bit upset, because when you came back on, we don't have that prom picture of you, as in Harrison Ford. So it's like, where's all the usual stuff? Where's the football? Where's the prom picture?
I mean, I drove from Austin, Texas to Cocoa Beach. So, I mean, that was the longest drive I've done.
No, you'd have to give me reference for that one, because I've got no idea how long that is. I know exactly how far. I know exactly how far Justin drove, but when you say from wherever you're from and to Cocoa Beach, I have no reference.
It would have taken 34 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing, Peabody. Shame on you.
I think we're still good.
I'm rolling a cigarette.
I got to do something real quick, fellas.
All good, PJ. All good. I know what you're doing, Peabody. That's why when you turn it off, I was I knew what you were doing when you were moving your hands. I'm like, he's rolling.
You were quitting smoking, so it's like you don't need to see it.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, but I quit back in February, so I'm good.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it always helps if you don't see it again.
Nah, it doesn't bother me. Trust me, I have money now. If I wanted to buy cigarettes, I could. But yeah, I completely have stopped, and that's that. So I've never had that issue. Unlike some people that have issues of quitting, I don't. The only thing I can't quit doing is eating. I like to eat. That's it. And I mean, granted, I was smart enough to, when I quit smoking, was able to not put on a lot of weight. So that was the one thing that I did.
Well, all you need is the Peabody diet. That's all you need.
Yeah, liquids.
No, it's like you don't eat half the week, and you eat for the other half of the week.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But no, I mean, I've done it before where I've quit smoking and then put on weight and then fought to get the weight off. But I was lucky enough that this time when I quit smoking, it was literally one of those where I was like, all right, I'm done. One, I don't really have the money to afford for it because I was trying to save up money to go to Australia to see Mr. Peabody. And, prior to the good old Corona outbreak. So it's like, all right, shit. But I'd already quit. So I was like, well, I'm not going to start now. So yeah, I'm fine with it.
Thing. Not only did, the borders get locked down, but WA doubly enforced that. So nobody, even if you live in WA, if you're outside of Western Australia now, you can't get in.
Right.
Unless you've got a really good reason.
Look at this. I say his name and he appears. The continuum. No, the common man is here.
How you doing, Adam?
Why does Justin keep on popping in and out?
Because he's on his mobile.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, no, he's on his mobile, so he's probably getting shitty spots. So like when he jumps back in, that's fine. I'll throw him back in, and then when he's not, he'll just disappear like he did.
So the common man, welcome.
When the landlord comes and he said you gotta put the money at the pay window.
Even I get that reference.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Aussie got that one. Yeah.
Yep.
No, it kicked me out. Like my router had a hiccup for some reason.
No, it's all good. It's all
Like
good.
everything froze.
That's okay. That sounds like my system. Because
except for yours,
my computer does its own thing. The internet does its own thing, and sometimes they collaborate.
Yes, they do. And then all of a sudden, poor Mr. Peabody's sitting there thinking on a Discord call that he's talking to me, and I'm sitting there like, the fuck, is he like dead? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's froze. And then his computer goes, no, I'm going to shut down for a while.
The fact is, everything looks fine to me, right? But the whole time my computer and my internet is collaborating and saying, hey man, we're going to shut this guy down, and he's not going to notice it for 15 minutes. I'll be yabbering on for a good 15 minutes and not even notice, and then realize that everything is frozen.
I've had the issues with Discord where like it'll decide out of nowhere. It's like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm going to run an update. Fuck you. It's like, oh, okay. And he and I would be talking. So I'd be on, my phone talking with him, and then all of a sudden there's nothing, and I have to run downstairs and get a tablet or get on the computer and be like, by the way, it's running an update. But by that time, he's already been yammering on for 6, 8, 10 minutes. He's like, oh, I'm so glad you came back. I've just been waffling on, and I'm like, that's okay, man.
Like, I've done it so many times, it's ridiculous. It's like because it's like, yeah, that bloody Aussie just keeps on talking and talking and talking. And the computer notices that and says, just let him waffle on. Yeah.
We're just going to let him keep going, just because why not? That's what happens.
Be kind to the Aussie, just let him talk. But it's like the whole time, Adam hasn't heard a word that I've said. So I have to start all over again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to say is that Proper was having problems because I just caught it because I'm so not used to hosting by any freaking means. So I just found the stupid, the private chat here, and, the mobile's being a bitch. Take care, guys, fellas, whatever, well, Proper, we love you to death. You know that. I'm just happy that you made it safe and sound into Ohio, and you're safe, and you're only 4 hours away. So eventually we will get together and hang out and have some fun.
And it was great to have you pop in again. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah. Well,
we've been. He's been showing up on more streams lately. Not just the bigger channels, but a lot of the smaller guys. He was on Jesse's stream earlier today. I think he popped in on my stream once at one time.
Well, I know that he kind of gave me the hours that he was working, so I was like, all right. And between this, like I said, this wasn't planned. When we first started doing these, we were all having so much fun doing them. I was like, all right, cool. And then, things happened, and, I just hadn't set one up. And then when I was talking with Mr. Peabody on Odin Movie Blog stream, I was like, hey, you want to do one tonight? And he's like, yeah, literally, that's all it took. It was just us sitting here going, you know what, let me just throw one together and see who wants to jump on. And, luckily through your Twitter stream, a lot of people that we are mutually friends with can see that. And that way I don't have to send individual ones to people. If they want to come, they can. If they don't have to. Nobody has to feel any pressure. Like I said, Tommy, it'd be great to get him in here, but eventually we'll get him in here, or we'll all meet up. But I mean, that's the whole thing with Proper. Eventually, I know he wants me and Peabody to get together on one of his streams, and I'm sure we'll iron that out and figure out a day that's good for Mr. Peabody and myself and Proper, and we'll knock something out of the park like we always do. Hell,
if you can shut the Aussie up.
Well, if your internet allow you to join, But even like tonight, I sent one to DJ just in case DJ D wasn't doing anything. It's like, hey, shit, DJ, if you're not doing nothing, jump on in. Bionic Belly Button, same thing. While I was still on Odin stream as a moderator, I'm sending her messages on Discord. By the way, I'm going to go live, and I sent her the direct link for Frank's show, and then sent her the StreamYard yards thing. It's like, all right, if you want to join us, you can. And she said she couldn't, so it's all good. I mean, I would pester Doomcock and be like, hey, do you want to come on my stupid stream? Because we're having fun. If you want to come have fun with me and my chuckleheads, come on. And you know, but
Chuckleheads.
yeah, I mean, but that's just it. Oh, speak of the motherfucking devil. There he is. The
Well,
one,
yes, I
the
saw you on
only.
TV.
Hey, DJ.
Hey, what's up? Well, I saw you on television, so yeah, I was like, oh, I got the show on. Cool.
Oh yeah. Hey, well, you know, we weren't really doing much. I've just been stalking, you know, Jason Mewes and getting him to say funny things to my wiener.
Yeah, I've been seeing it.
So
It's a lot of good jokes.
hey, look, you know, and it's real funny. I was in a couple of chats and I'd put stuff, and this one guy goes, "Your comedic timing is just phenomenal. Never lose it." I'm like, dude, I'm in a house full of wiener dogs. I'm not losing shit. You know, I mean, it's just never going to happen. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's who I am. And like Jason Mewes to me, like it was always an inspiration as an actor to see the shit he went through, because he wasn't normal like most normal folk. I'm not normal by any fucking means. So it was cool.
Here's something funny for you, because I'm watching the news at the moment, and they're talking to some guy that's not you, who's named Adam, and apparently your face is going to be on a postage stamp.
Awesome.
There's Adam's portrait is going to be on a postage stamp, and that's funny as fuck to me. It's like, because it's like, hang on, my Adam
on an Australian postage stamp.
That would be classic.
Yes, it would be.
Should change your tagline to famous in Australia.
It's not the same Adam, but it's like I'm listening to you, and I'm watching that and thinking, Adam's going to be on a postage stamp. But it's like, of course, but he deserves a postage stamp, and he deserves an Australian postage stamp.
Well, here's the funny thing. So, like, Peabody, you don't know Jason Mewes, but you know he's just an American actor. And he was going to be at Horror Hound, and my daughter and I were going to go because he was there along with a couple other actors from the original movie Clerks. So Dante and Randall were also going to be there with Jason Mewes. So I was like, all right.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah, so we were going to go, DJ. And like now, though, here's the thing. Like everything got postponed. But when they redo it, I'm still going to go. But now, I mean, I've got the best opening line ever because, as you know, my Twitch is Frank in the Clan. So he's talking to Frank and the Clan, and I even explained to him that Frank's a wiener dog, you know, and he like had a big giggle. And I've shared all this shit on Twitter for everybody, and I've tried to tag as many people as I can remember because it's
I saw it.
Funny. Yeah, oh yeah, you know I tagged you, fool. Oh hell yeah, of course I'm going to tag your ass, you know. But it's just like, man, come on. And same with Brian. I tagged him. I'm like, these guys are going to get a kick out of this because you guys know that Frank is me and that Frank is my wiener dog. And like I explained it to Jason Mewes. I'm like, hey, Frank is my wiener, dog, you know, And he giggles and laughs about it. And then last night at like 2 a.m. our time, he was like, so I held Frank's wiener, Frank's a wiener, and he was trying to figure out how to word it. And it was just funny to watch an actor trying to put it together on his own damn stream. And I clipped it and then shared it on Twitter. And I mean, that's just it. But when I go up and I meet him, I go, yeah, it's you from Frank and the Clan. And he'll know exactly who I am when I get to actually finally meet him whenever the Cincinnati Horror Hound goes back, you know, and they say, hey, we're going to do this. Because he said, I even shared that, I think I shared it, where he's like, hey, he's excited for the cons. He's ready to go to a con. So I'm like, all right, man, cool. But yeah, I mean, he's on his Twitch and he's playing games and, you know, you can interact with him and he reads it. And that's really cool. And I've been doing what I do best. I've been exposing him to, you know, my wiener dog clan. Because that's what you do when you've got a house full of wieners.
Yes. Expose things.
Expose things, yes.
I know I've been exposing things the past week. It's fun.
That's what you do on the interwebs.
That's right, on the interwebs. You know, here it's Frank's House of Wiener dog. Yep. There's nothing but sausage as far as the eye can see. Get your sausage here. But yeah, you know.
So DJ, with everybody stuck at home, does the art of exposing things does it become more of a competition now because no one has anything better to do but to expose things?
Exactly, it's a little more difficult. So I'm having to go state to state to expose things properly. So that'll be later this year. Hopefully, if all goes well, it'll be exposed thoroughly over there. But stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, DJ D Show will be exposing things interesting places. Yeah.
I'm just waiting. DJ, for you'd hit Australia shores.
Oh man, I thought about it for a second, but no, I can't this year. I'll see what I can pull off next year.
I know the European tour is going to be first. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got same crap that Frank and the Wiener Dog Clan had to go through. It's the passport pain in the asses.
Yep.
Jesus, that's
because I heard that they actually they stopped issuing passports, but
well, they're
right
completely log jammed right now. Everyone's trying to get
right after
what they can.
Right after Adam got his passport, it was all across the news here that America has stopped issuing passports. As like, wow, you dodged a bullet there.
Mm-hmm.
You got your passport before they stopped issuing them. It's like I dodged the bullet because I got to see AHA before everything closed down.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
that is very true. I'm just happy you got to go, man. That was what was really cool about that.
Yeah. But and it was funny because Odin actually mentioned it because I didn't think that Odin watched all that many of my videos unless I directly linked him to it. But obviously he does because he knows that I sing a lot of AHA songs.
Yeah, Odin notices the little things. He's good at that.
Yeah, but because I mean, as far as I knew, no one was watching anything I did. It's like
pretty much it's just me and like a few other ones that give you likes.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 views, and but I know that if
YouTube's garbage on counting views sometimes. You might have more than you do. They're idiots about it.
Oh yeah.
If you link it through another channel, through a different social media, it doesn't always show up. So I knew that. But it's like, as far as I knew, the only person watching my stuff was my ma. So, and I was quite happy with that. It's like because ma watches it, and she. I mean, I'm not the best singer. I'm not the best guitar player. I'm not really all that good at anything really, but my ma likes to see me do it, so that's why I do it. And it's always better when you're in front of a camera and doing stuff. So it's not just she can hear you, but she can see you do it, and she likes that stuff. So as far as I'm happy, I'm happy that she saw it and she loved it. So that's good enough for me. But I'm glad that I can. But if other people like it or don't like it, it's like just let me know, because like I get very little comments and very little likes and things like that. So it's like, so I don't know if what I do is really any worth to anybody else. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I've always watched your stuff and usually will comment on it, and it just depends on. What's a bitch for me is because like I'll watch it on one account and I got to switch it and watch it on the other. So it's like, man, but I mean, I do it. Like Just Another Nerd will do something, so I'll watch it on Frank's account and then I'll comment. And then just to be a dick, I'll watch it like 2 times speed the second time around, so it counts as a watch. And I'll leave a comment because it's like, dude, I just watched an 1.5-hour video. I ain't fucking watching it twice. I'm not spending 3 hours on the same shit. Now I will, on the other hand, put that shit to 2 times the speed and let that bitch play all the way through, because I already watched it the first time and then come up with something to say. But I mean, like Peabody stuff, I've always usually loved comments and stuff on his, especially when it comes to, smaller friendly to Brian's. I try to make sure I get at least 1 of the 2 channels all the time. Same thing with Odin. On occasion, I'll try to catch some of his, like a lot of his videos, I catch them later on. And I want to say hello to Heather Bell, who just joined the stream.
Hey, Heather.
In there. And, good old Bionic Belly Button thought that was sweet of you, Mr. Peabody, playing stuff for your ma. And the best thing about Mr. Peabody, which some people don't know, the personal insight thing is his ma adopted me. So not only am I a U.S. citizen, now I am also an Australian.
He's my brother. Yeah.
Yep.
So, he got adopted a long time ago.
So, but yeah, and I mean that was the thing. Like I've got this man's birthday present here. It's been here since February, and then was planning to invade Australia in 2021. But of course, with everything going on, it didn't really stop me going in 2021. But then again, we don't know what's happening yet. So it kind of did.
First thing my mom said to him was, "You're gonna make him cry."
Oh yeah, like the birthday, like he doesn't know what it is, but his mom does. And I'm like I sent her pictures of it, and I told her what it was pre getting it, and I sent her other things, so she has 100% knowledge of what it is. And she's like, he's gonna cry, right? And I'm like, yeah, because she's like, he's very emotional, and what I did is gonna make him cry. Like I did this knowing he was gonna cry, but it'll be tears of joy. Honestly, it will be. But yeah, it's literally one of those where it's like, that's how good of friends he and I, have become. And I was like, I want to do something really special for his birthday because it's really one of those special birthday years. So I'm like, man. And then the icing on the cake was going to Australia in 2021, making plans to do that. And then this whole, Corona shit, with everything going on. Now me trying to be, positive on it's like, hey, maybe flights will be cheap as shit and I'll be able to actually afford to go, because it was going to be about $1,500 to $1,800 for a round trip flight for about a month. So, I'm like, hey, if I can get that bitch for like $100,
exactly.
And to give you guys,
unfortunately, they're not letting you get on the flight without having to go through a lot of crap to do it.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I mean, I'm not.
If you can get past all the checkpoints and then you can get on the little plane. You gotta get through all the checkpoints, right? So hopefully you're not too far away from the airport. Fuck. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like, there's
it's just like the 1980s Russia, right? Jeez.
But for context, to let everybody know, next year I will be turning 50. So
wow.
I think that's I'm hitting that big number, my friends.
Well, yeah, I mean that was the thing. I've got you something every year for your birthday. This is the third year in a row. Except this one I went all out, and like your mom just couldn't believe what I did. And like when we get to January of next year, I guarantee you this guy's gonna be he's gonna have tears, and then he's gonna call me a fucking asshole because it's just what he's doing. It's just literally one of those, because I broke him I sent him the first year
he broke me with the card,
yeah. And he got the Christmas card, and it was let it snow because there's no snow in Australia, and I knew that. So as an inside joke, I had to send him that Christmas card.
And then you got me again with the Lego Dachshund, and this guy just knows me so well. He knows that I'd love a puzzle to put together, and I put it together. And so he got me on that one as well, and so I don't know what he's going to. I don't know what he's going to do next time, but Ma has told him, it's like, you're going to make him cry.
Yeah, she full on quote unquote was like, he's going to cry, right? And I'm like, yeah. He gets very emotional, and in this situation, it's a very emotional thing. So I know he's going to cry. I mean, like the backstory of the blanket on his videos for anybody that watches it is like, I went all over looking for this damn Rogue One blanket with Jen Urso on it, because I knew that was one of his favorite characters, and we talked and whatnot. And I'm hitting like every one of these damn fabric stores. And at the time, guys, keep in mind, I'm 6 foot and I was about 225. So I mean, I'm running in and out of these places getting looks. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? People, you don't belong here, because I got tattoos and whatnot. So I'm like, all right, whatever.
And Trista found it.
Like Jim the Anvil Neidhart, looking for this damn blanket, hitting every store, driving 45 minutes out of the way, trying to find the shit, looking online. And I'm explaining it to my wife, and I'm like, this is what I'm looking for, right? And I shit you not, the first fucking store we go in, she finds it in a pre-cut blanket, mind you, no less. She goes, well, is this it? Like, you got to be shitting me. So that was like the first big surprise for me. Got the blanket because he's always cold, and I sent him I threw in an original Star Wars Topps card was one of the things. and dealing solo comic, and she made the blanket for him. And then there was a Hot Wheels airplane. Like, the dude loves airplanes, and I know that. I have never, in the 45 years I've been alive, seen Hot Wheels airplanes. Usually it's cars or some, and I'm talking a big stack of them. Here's this one fucking plane. Out of like 1,000 of them damn cars, there's one plane, and I grabbed it and I bought it and I sent it to his ass. I'm like, here. And that was like year one I sent him this. And then this last year it had the puzzle, and he hates emojis, so he got emoji Pez dispenser, an emoji blanket with Star Wars on the other side. So that way, no matter what, he's fucked. So either he's looking at Star Wars and on top of him's emojis, or it's vice versa, where on top of him Star Wars and underneath him is the emojis. And I mean, it's just the good kind of laughs that good friends have. So it was all that kind of stuff. And then I kind of behind his back started talking to his mom about his birthday present for his 50th birthday. And I'm just like, hey, what do you think of this? And she's like I said, flat out, he's going to cry. He gets very emotional in his situation. I can't say anything now. But, in January, we'll do a stream for Mr. Peabody's birthday. And you guys will understand, if you were here, why he's so emotional over what I got him. Because even his mom got emotional over it and could not believe that I went as far as I did for this gift. And she's just, she thanked me for being his friend and just really knows. So, yeah, it was just really, really cool, though. It's like, all right, cool. But, yeah, I mean, it's all met with love, and the fact that
you got adopted before that.
Yeah, I did. But yeah. And then now she's just like, thank God for you. And I'm like, well, I mean, we've saved each other though numerous times over the years, and had each other's backs. And, Jay Clark, same thing. He's another person that, Jason Clark, who, buddy of ours who I talked to the other day. He's not really doing YouTube or anything, but it was the three of us all the time from Odin's movie blog.
The fact is, Jay Clark is like he's a true hero. He's a true hero. He put his life in danger.
That's right. You tell him. Yes, he did, and that's just it.
I'd stop because I'm crying.
But I mean, we all met because of Odin. If it weren't for Odin, not one of us would have met in Odin's Discord. So luckily for us, we were able to figure all that out, and that's how we all met. And then of course, poor DJ. I mean, we've just been following. Like I said, I've been following him around since World Class Bullshitters, and used to come in and expose the stream, and got to know the guy. He's a great guy. Same with Brian. Got to know Brian due to other people, and here we are. Yeah. In the middle of a lockdown when people are freaking out, laughing and having fun. And I got fucking Peabody in tears. So, I mean,
exactly.
Again.
That's right.
But, I mean, DJ and Brian are here, and it's like speak up, peoples. But it's great to have DJ here. We've known DJ for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, I haven't known you for very long, but welcome to the community of the crying Aussies.
I guess. Let's see. Yeah, I guess so. I'm just trying to think of what Aussies I've met that cried.
It's like,
but I haven't met that many. I haven't met that many Aussies. So I met a few. There's you. I don't think I've talked to Lethal Lightning much. There's that gentleman in the suit, Liam Gray. He's there. I don't know. There's a couple.
Well, Lethal I've always suspected was Tasmanian.
Huh.
It's but I mean, like in Australia, when you say someone's Tasmanian, it's like a stigma, like they're like inbred. But what I was referring to was the way he talks. Instead of saying a W, they'll say a TH. It's weird. And so when you hear, I'll tell you what, a bizarre thing that I heard this morning. There was a woman that was brought back to Australia and she's in a 5-star hotel in lockdown, right? And she was complaining about it, right? And I was listening to her, and I was thinking, what the fuck? You're a fucking Kiwi. She's not Australian. She's a New Zealander. And they're interviewing her. Get fucked. It's like at least
it's
least
like
get a fucking
here,
Australian.
it's like here, a bunch of celebrities are complaining like, wow, like stuck at home feels like jail. And I'm sitting there thinking, you live in a 5-6 bedroom mansion or McMansion. The rest of us live anywhere between a studio apartment and a 3-bedroom house, 4-bedroom if we're lucky.
Exactly.
And so,
and they get food delivered to their house and everything else the fuck they need.
Exactly. I was like, you get an indoor movie theater. You get some cases have the indoor bowling alley, like King Ralph. I'm sure that happens. They got a big backyard. They live in a place where I wouldn't mind living alone or with my family. It's like, what you mean? No one has to come over? Cool. You mean I have no social obligations and I live here? Awesome.
Like, the one person they interview, she's a New Zealander. It's like, what the fuck?
And what's this, an Australian station?
Everyone with that accent
in the right
sounds
country.
They're all the same. It's like Asians. They're all the same.
Oh,
and it's fucking Mexicans.
man,
it's all Mexicans. South America,
Well,
Central America.
That was the funny thing with the first influx of people that we were flying in from other countries that were Australian. They were all fucking Chinese. How did that work? Yeah, it's like no,
because they're trying to take over. They're trying to take over your country.
Well,
it's an educational swap program that happened here, and
to be similar to what they did to Hawaii.
They pretty much have taken over the country. They pretty much do own Australia.
What happens if you dare say Taiwan as a country?
I say Taiwan.
Oh, they don't like that at all.
Oh, I know they don't like that.
I need to make some T-shirts and buy them. Taiwan number one.
Taiwan's a country.
There's already Taiwan number ones, and Taiwan's a country. Yeah.
WHO ghosted Taiwan.
WHO just lost a shit ton of money.
Exactly.
No,
almost $500 billion. Yeah.
They lost a shit, but I mean, like they should have lost it years ago. As I said, when I was studying, the World Health Organization was a big thing. Now it's a shell. It's just a shell. But all the girl asked, you've all seen this clip. All the girl asked is, can Taiwan be included into the World Health Organization?
I didn't hear your question. I'll ask you that. No, ask a different one.
I didn't hear it. Can we move on to the next question? It's like, what the fuck?
And she asked it again, and then he hung up.
We all heard the question. You know what I mean? Everybody heard the question except the one person that was listening to it. It's like, get fucked.
Pretty much. I mean, it's. I mean, I've been trolled by Chi-coms and commie sympathizers for the last 2 weeks, and
that's pissing them off, calling them Chi-coms too.
And I'll tell you what, I kind of miss being trolled by the furries.
No, I don't miss.
No, yeah, you're right.
They can go to hell. They're terrible.
But this is a level of incompetence in ignorance that I cannot stand right here.
Especially from the World Health Organization. What are you there for? World Health Organization. What are you there for? You're not there to cut people off.
Similar problem has happened with Fauci, whatever the fuck his name is. Initially,
Tedros.
It wasn't too bad, and then he started getting on TV shows, and then he said, "Okay, everyone, get a card. Let's go. You get special bonuses. just piece of your soul. That's all. Everyone get. Oh, you want to go somewhere? You have to have this an additional special card. They tried the same crap with AIDS with the little fucking wristbands.
Now, yeah, the problem with this one is it is out there. It's already out there, and there's going to be a second wave. There's going to be a third wave, and it's going to keep on going through. So the
whole world's going to be processed by it. There's no way around it. The same way as the Spanish flu.
We are only in the first wave. It's going to hit us again and again. It's going to diminish. It will diminish, but the fact is,
I think I've already had it. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
more than likely you have. But this is a different wave, and and there's other things that I've seen that I'm not going to talk about here, but the fact is, this is not your normal virus. It's been manipulated, so I'm not going to go into it. But they're
not treating it normal either.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
This is abnormal for this low percentage kill rate to act like this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not normal. That's
my problem with it.
It's a dry run. But
theoretically, I don't like what they're doing. Country to country in some things.
The thing is, like they knew about it before, and then they said, "Oh, it's not all that bad. It's not transferable between people." Blah, blah.
Nah, man, it's the flu, man. It's the flu, man. It's the flu, man. That's what we kept hearing. It's just the flu, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. It's a low percentage of anything spreading. That's supposedly Fauci or whatever the freak his name is said that early on.
I did tell Adam. I did tell Adam, but it's like what DJ, what you said before in a stream. I think it was last week or something like that. You said there was seven strains.
6.
Apparently, there's 8 strains, but there's 8 strains of COVID-19.
There's 3 in my knowledge right now.
Yeah. What I was talking about,
and only 2 have been confirmed. So the third one is possible.
Yeah, but what I was talking about is a COVID virus. A coronavirus. There's hundreds of strains.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I was saying. It's like, what are they testing for?
They're exaggerating the numbers.
Yes,
in Minnesota and Ohio, and there's documented footage of it. Is it real footage? Is another problem. But one of them involves a senator. One of them involves a senator stating it, that they faked the death numbers in Minnesota.
That's exactly
that's
right.
a problem.
Basically, a person shows up to hospital, they die, and then they say, "We've confirmed that they've got the virus." That doesn't mean shit.
My great uncle, my great uncle passed away Easter morning. And he was very old. He would have been 89 this year. And I know that's sad and things. And yeah, I am a little broken up about it. But I haven't seen the guy in 15 years, so I'm not like
right. But it'd be like 89.
Yeah,
so
but anyway,
had a life.
Anyways, the guy had dementia. He would fall out of his bed constantly. And half the time he didn't know where he was at. Now they did say that he did contract pneumonia, but it could have. I'm surprised he lived this long, to be honest with you. If he would have passed away within the last 5 years, I wouldn't have been surprised. Let's put it that way. But I really hope they don't rack it up to say, oh well, he had that, so there it is. But speaking of fudge numbers, I don't know if this site is webarchive.org. I don't know if it's a reliable source, but someone sent me this. Said 21 million Chinese died of coronavirus. U.S. intelligence officials intercept data, and it's pretty much saying that that all of a sudden,
the numbers have been hiked a bit.
Yeah. A big number of people are been wiped away from the cell phone services, and
Yeah.
you cannot cancel your cell phone service in China. Let's put it that way. It's like you can't.
Oh
So
no, you can't. In fact, it's very hard to get cell phone service in China. You have to pay a fair bit of money in order to get on the phone in the first place.
And this one says a new data intercepted by the U.S. Reveals that 21 million people died in China from December 2019 to March 2020. Officials conclude in a classified report for the Trump administration. Again, I'd like to see this to confirm it. The intelligence report stated that at least 20.9 million of deaths were linked to the coronavirus. According to the U.S., intercepted data shows that China underreported its coronavirus infections and deaths was validated for the second time when it tallied with data released by Beijing authorities. Beijing announced on March 19th that over 21 million cell phone accounts in China were canceled in the past 3 months, while 840,000 landlines were closed. China had reported a little over 81,000 infections with 3,300 deaths. An earlier intelligence report released by the U.S. that China hid scale of the outbreak was quickly rejected by the foreign ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying. Hua said the country had been open and transparent, quote unquote, about the extent of the outbreak before accusing Washington of trying to shift the blame. But officials say the report has been authenticated and has been confirmed by the closing of phone numbers were as result of deaths caused by coronavirus. Cell phones are an indispensable part of life in China, and it's only closed when the user is dead, the report said. The digitization level is very high in China. People can't survive without a cell phone. Tiang Jingyan, a U.S.-based China affairs commentator, told the Epoch Times on March 21st. Dealing with the government for pensions and Social Security, buying train tickets, shopping, no matter what people want to do, they are required to use cell phones. The Chinese regime requires all Chinese use their cell phones to generate a health code. Only with a green health code are Chinese allowed to move in China now, Tang said. It's impossible for a person to cancel his cell phone. China introduced the mandatory facial scans on December 1st, 2019, confirmed the identity of the person who registered the phone as early as September 1st, 2010. China required all cell phone users to register the phone with their real identification, by which the state can control people's search via its large-scale monitoring system. Furthermore, Chinese people have to bundle their bank accounts and Social Security account with their cell phone because all these service apps can detect the phone's SIM card and then check with the state's database to make sure the number belongs to the person. Beijing first launched the cell phone-based health codes on March 10th. All people in China have to install a cell phone app and register their personal health information. Then the app can generate a QR code, which is possible in three colors to classify a person's health. Red means the person has an infectious disease. Yellow means the person might have an infectious disease. Green means the person doesn't have an infectious disease.
Yeah, but once again, what infectious disease?
Well, it's China, so go figure.
Yeah, it's like it could be anything. It's like but what you were talking about before, I'm seeing on the TV right now, the celebrities whinging about being locked down.
I just shared the link in the chat and also in the private chat. So yeah, I'll stop sharing.
No. It's like what you were saying is all over the news. That American celebrities complaining about being in lockdown. It's like, and as you said, it's like they're in fucking mansions and everything like that, and they're complaining. Whereas people have lost their jobs, they've lost their homes, and they're living under fucking bridges, and you're complaining.
And some of them are not able to eat. They're having
Exactly.
serious
Exactly.
health issues, and they can't be seen by a doctor.
Yeah.
Some people, not everyone is able to do
plus,
just basic things to survive right now.
Plus, they're telling us not to go to the doctors. They're telling us not to go to the doctors.
The doctors refuse to see people in some places. It's by phone. It's virtual doctor. Not even joking.
Yeah, the only I was lucky because the fact is, they sent me a message. I was waiting almost 3 years for an appointment. They sent me a message. I didn't get the message. I showed up, so they did see me, but the woman herself said she did not examine me because of coronavirus. She talked to me. She did talk to me, and she gave her recommendations and everything like that. But she did not examine me because of coronavirus.
Well, that's all right.
Which is ridiculous.
My buddy went and got tested just because he pretty much feels like we do. It's a bioweapon. We've all been exposed to it. He got really sick, January time frame, and hasn't ever really.
That's about when I dealt with it. Yeah.
So they do the test, and it comes back inconclusive. So it's like, so what the fuck? And of course, this was one of those 2-day tests, which I don't trust anyway. It
needs to be at least 4 days for COVID-19.
Yep.
I was told that by someone that I cannot state because NDA, etc. And whenever I'm allowed to say who it was from, I'll say it in the future. But 4 days minimum for COVID-19 with the current technology.
And this was DJ. This was like Lily in Indianapolis that did the test. So it's like, okay, but 2 days later and it's inconclusive. And he's like, well, you ain't fucking shoving that shit up my nose again. It's like, fuck all that noise.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's not
comfortable.
That's not a conclusive test. It's like,
but ramming that thing up your nose to the back of your fucking brain, as he said, he's like, God, that's what it felt like. And I'm like, I've had sinus operations. Trust me, I understand where you're coming from. That's not something that's fun. And, unfortunately, the president, where it's like, we're going to try to get faster tests and easier tests. And it's like, man, you probably can't do that with this kind of a thing, depending on what it is. And I had a discussion with.
What I don't get is why can't a blood test do this?
Right.
A blood test does everything else, damn near.
It should.
No,
I think
a blood test will not cover this.
It should. Though. That's crazy.
No, the only thing that's going to cover this is an electron microscope. That's the only thing.
So shouldn't blood show this? It makes you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a blood sample. It's got to be prepared. It's got to be registered, and then it's got to be put under an electron microscope. So that's why I'm saying about these numbers. These numbers are wrong.
Okay, so it takes a while to do the test, but it absolutely should show it, though, right?
Yes. Once you do it, yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And you can narrow it down to a specific virus. But what I'm saying is, all these people that are saying that are dying of COVID-19, they're not doing these tests. They're just saying, well, they're positive for a coronavirus.
Holy shit.
Right,
Let's say hello. I'm sorry, Peabody. Got to cut you off. The best kitty in the world, Riot Kitty, is here. And I just want to make sure that we say hello to the greatest
Riot
kitty
Kitty
ever.
Yeah.
Riot.
Very good channel.
Is she broken?
Well, she's not.
She's not here. Right now, she's
chat.
currently licking the like button. I know she licked my like button one time.
Okay.
I get that in the lore section.
I
Don't get too red faced, right,
Come on.
Kitty? I'm just joking with you.
No, she's done many streams. I've watched her streams, She does really, 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 really good work. We enjoy anytime I can catch her in a similar chat when she'll be in there typing away. I always put in there, it's the best kitty, Riot Kitty, because Frank loves Riot Kitty and all of her work that she does. So the fact that she's in the chat, I was just like, holy shit. Yeah, I know. That's why it looks like I got to cut you off for a minute, Peabody, because Riot is here, and I had to make sure to show her the love that she deserves, because we enjoy all of her, between her artwork and her point of view and things that she does, on top of the fact she's just awesome. Just like Tommy, Bionic Belly Button, Brian the Observer, yourself. Fuck, DJD is the fucking most craziest 9,000-year-old mofo that I've ever met, along with my Australian, cobber, Mr. Peabody. But, when you get somebody whose channel you watch and, you've been in many chats with, and then she popped up, that's why I was like, holy shit, time out. It's Riot Kitty time. Right, Kitty
so
time.
DJ, I did send you that. I did send you, DM you that article I just shared with us all, because I know that you're on your mobile more so than your computer these days. So
exactly.
I know you're on it right now, so I know.
Exactly.
On tour.
Oh, and speaking of which, I do kind of.
Well, yeah, there's certain things I'm not going to tell you over the phone. Really,
right.
Yeah.
I do want that thing we talked about being beamed from Saturn and whatever. You said you got other information.
Oh, that thing, the website that talked about that. That's its own batch of hilarious.
Oh, I know.
And that. Well, guy seems authentic. I wouldn't be shocked.
Oh yeah.
All the other crazy crap happening right now. Yeah.
All the other crazy crap happening right now isn't any different than what we dealt with on a daily basis, it seems, except for now everybody's locked indoors.
True. And then it's making it worse for certain people.
Yes,
if upset about Twitter garbage even more so than usual.
Speaking of Twitter garbage, if you say anything disrespectful about China and someone responds with NM SL, that's an acronym. In Mandarin, it stands for "Your mother is dead," and they don't even know how to insult properly.
Well, when it comes to China, there's a good chance of that actually being true right now.
Mm-hmm. If you say anything if you say anything about China, they all take it as an insult, because they've been brought up that way. But the fact is, if you look at some of the banners that China has actually above their stores, it says spread it to the west.
Oh, sick.
Oh yeah. And then I can't tell if it's a joke or not, but in some of the videos they've showed it, where one woman was slowly creeping up like in a horror movie behind American to try to give it to them on the bench while they're doing an interview with someone.
Yeah, now if you watch Supenza, and because that's a guy that was from South Africa that moved to China, lived there for 12 years, and he does a lot of stuff on China because he loves China. He loves Chinese people, but he doesn't love the Communist Party.
Yeah, the system is broken, and there was about as bad as a third world country when it came to their medical technology.
But he tells it straight out the bat. It's like he tells it like I do. He's straight off the bat. He doesn't fuck around. He tells you as it is. And the fact is, he's translating stuff that they've got posted, because you know that anybody that's white or black in China can't go into their stores. They won't let them in.
So they're racist.
But they say they're not. And as soon as you say anything bad about China, they call everybody else racist, but they won't let these people into their stores. Do you know what I mean?
Huh.
It's like it's so one-sided. It's ridiculous.
All I gotta say, if it wasn't for Taiwan and Hong Kong, a place for these people to escape to during the blood reign of Mao. Over here in the West, we wouldn't have things like martial arts schools like kung fu, and we wouldn't have Chinese cuisines, and we certainly would not have heard of the Cantonese language, because up until about 15, possibly 20 years ago, you came across a Chinese person, they probably spoke Cantonese because they probably escaped from South China to Hong Kong, or they were probably from Hong Kong themselves, you know. And so Mandarin was something kind of, I'm not going to say new to the West, but I've certainly never heard the Mandarin language spoken outside of a Shaw Brothers film. Because 9 times out of 10, when I came across a Chinese person, they were speaking Cantonese.
Depends on where. Really?
Yeah, I mean, Taiwan's
Yeah.
different. Yeah, Taiwan
It
does
does
speak Mandarin,
depend on
but
where.
from,
Like,
from Hong Kong,
I
from
would
Hong
talk
Kong,
part of Mandarin.
Yeah, if it's Hong Kong, it would be more Canto.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was taught a Mandarin because I had to learn some of Mandarin to hard to explain. But the situation I was dealing with a lot of Indonesian people, so I had to learn Mandarin in order to talk to them and explain to them what they were doing. It was a work environment. But I know what you mean. You got Cantonese and Mandarin. They're your two main ones, but they can actually translate across. So
Right. Yeah, there is some translation when I see the dialect difference, but the one thing that's constant is the written language, except for now they have something called simplified over there. And
it's
like you see
it's
Oh,
traditional.
hell. Oh, God.
far
Not
from simple,
like
right?
new math or some crap.
No,
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
just a little bit different kanji text than what you're used to seeing. But what you're used to seeing, the written language, uh, I mean, people from Hong Kong and Taiwan still use it, and Japan uses the same written language as well. But the simplified, it's not that different, but it's just one of those things. It's like, hey, you get a little lazy with your writing. It's like the difference between cursive and print, things like that. Or like for instance, like in England they would spell color with a U and we don't. That kind of
Well,
a thing.
that's because they spell it correctly.
We simplified it. But they've certainly made an effort in mainland China to snuff out all the other languages like Cantonese, like the Hakka and the Fujian languages to just be Mandarin. And certainly when they try, since they had Hong Kong in 1997, they've been sending more people there to learn Mandarin and spread their propaganda. But I like the
That's
people.
why they tried to close off Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, and
it's funny. Sorry, I'll just say this one thing, and then you can go. But it's funny. It's like, remember they had that huge thing in Hong Kong that you cannot wear masks, and then the government locked down on it, and there was all these riots and these what do you call it, protests, saying we want to wear masks because the fact is the air quality here is not all that great. And but they said, no, you can't wear masks. And they tried to shut it down in Hong Kong. And then we had this virus and everybody's wearing masks. It's like, no, in Hong Kong, you can't have masks, but it's okay for the rest of China.
A couple of weeks ago, this guy was really upset at me and started DM me obscenities that were poorly translated into English. It was so bad. And I said, look, I don't have a problem with you personally. It's your government that sucks, So
Yeah.
he tried at that point to have somewhat of intelligent dialogue.
Yeah.
And he asked me, what about the atrocities in Hong Kong? And I pretty much said Hong Kong should be its own country because the deal that the Brits made, that 100-year lease or 99-year lease of Hong Kong, was done with the Qing government, the Qing government, the Qing dynasty. And you had two governments after the fact. You had the Republic of China, then you had the People's Republic of China, and which, in my personal opinion, should have voided the contract, and Britain should have kept Hong Kong. In my personal opinion,
Right.
or let them be sovereign. It'd be kind of like Puerto Rico or whatever.
But he didn't like that.
Hong Kong.
Oh
was
no,
actually,
he didn't like that. He then proceeded to say that every Hong Kong and Taiwan and Japan even and most of Europe are all Chinese, blah 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 blah. We're all always have been Chinese and all this other stuff. And I said, dude, you're kind of confused there. I said, first of all, the only government that have come close to claiming almost all that territory was the Mongolians.
yes.
And they called it the Yuan dynasty, and that was for cultural reasons that Kublai Khan named it the Yuan dynasty.
And Japan is very segregated, so it's like,
they tried.
China and Japanese is completely different.
Very different. Very different. I mean, they tried to invade. The Mongols tried to invade Japan, but they lost most of their fleet because they used boats that were meant for river invasions and not sea. And they had really rough seas, and they lost. They didn't get to take control of Okinawa like they wanted to. Had they been a little bit more seaworthy, then I think maybe the Mongol Empire would still have more influence today in Asia. It'd be very different than what we see today.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean,
and it's always a risk taking on an island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Case in point, that one island that you
even
can't
with
go
air
to
support, it's rough.
What's that one island that you try to go there and they start chucking spears at you before you even get to shore?
Australia?
Oh no! And they even tried to fly a drone overhead. Like, there's this one guy that tried to go preach the gospel there, and he got killed because of the language barrier. Something must have happened decades, and here I say maybe centuries ago, that just caused that population. Like, don't trust anyone from outside that come on a boat.
Australia.
Australia.
You realize how many Chinese people there are in Australia? Let me tell you, there's a lot. Yeah. Every Buckaroo Banzai episode, it's always a drowning China person.
Honestly, if I turned on a camera and went to a local shopping center, it'd be spot the Aussie, it'd be spot the white person, and you'd have a hard time finding them.
There you go.
God dang, it's become Hawaii then. At least in that part.
But
Hawaii similar to that.
If I went to Mirrabooka, and filmed in there, you'd say, this guy's in fucking Africa. No, I'm serious. It's like everybody is black. It's like really black, not just black. I'm not talking about Australian Aboriginals. I'm talking about Nigerians. And it's like,
so what you're talking about is Wesley Snipes and not Eddie Murphy and Charlie Murphy. Okay.
No, I'm talking about blacker.
God dang. That's wow.
I mean, and I'm not being racist, but it's like, the fact is like, why
exactly we're talking about?
Why has these things changed to this, so that certain areas in certain parts I'm just talking about Australia. Certain things about certain parts of Australia are so different, and they come to the country, but they don't want to integrate.
Exactly.
You know,
just like California.
they want to
like
bring
half,
their
it's
want to
half
bring
Mexican
their
in California.
They want to bring they want to bring their problems and their religions here, but they don't want to share. And it's like, well, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big issue.
It's like we were talking about pre-show. It's literally when you have somebody from the Middle East that comes here, but then wants Sharia law. Well, then go back to the fucking Middle East. Don't be here in America.
Well, they actually do. They come here and get the degree here, then go back over there.
Yeah. So it's just
that's
like,
a program that needs to stop.
That's what happened with all those people that came back to Australia, and they brought the fucking virus with them. All those fucking what it was is like Chinese people came here, right? They got their citizenship in Australia, right? And then they said, "Fine, we've got our citizenship, all good. We'll buy some property, and we'll set our kids up in Australian universities." And then they went back to China. And as soon as all this shit happened, it's like, take me back to Australia. Like, fuck off.
Well, I mean, it's like here. Who's the Secretary of State? Forget the guy's name.
Well,
anyway,
this is easily the biggest group of idiot secretaries we've had in a long time.
Well, anyway, he was
in the government. That is, mind you, the fine secretary is getting bent over and banged on desk across America once this little problem gets fixed. They're much smarter than the Secretary of State and all the other dumb fucks.
Anyway, so the State Department, the guy warned the governors, and this was way before the outbreak happened. He said that there's these groups that kind of like business association, but they're pretty pro-China. There's these college groups or whatever that try to have these student exchange programs, and so he pretty much said right there on TV that a lot of what happens is these programs have links directly to Beijing, and so you got to be careful because they really want to know every level of secret, not just business wise, but at your state level, at your local level of government, and everything else like that. So it's disturbing, and he said it on national TV with like a meeting of governors and everything else like that. So I mean,
I'm not laughing at you, Brian. I'm sorry. You're good, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. But when I do something stupid, I have to giggle.
No, that's okay. I was pretty much done. But pretty much, it's not uncommon to have these programs to where they send people from other countries, not to either A, spy, or B, put influence towards China.
Right. I saw this and it just kind of popped up and I just kind of started giggling. And that's what I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at you and I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just saw that and it just kind of made me giggle, Stop
buying, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if it's in a store and it's for sale, I can buy it. I don't care what anyone says.
But you and I have been talking about and I've said it from day one. It's so the mask isn't going to save you from it in the first place. We're talking microscopic fibers here. So, I mean, it's the common cold met with, whatever. As we said, it's on steroids. I for one, I'm sticking with the same thing I've said. It's a biological weapon. I don't think it was a completed biological weapon because if it wasn't, I don't think we'd have gone through all the stages that we've gone through. On top of the fact, the other issue that I've said, I think because we've all been vaccinated against so much shit in our lives, from generation after generation, might be one of the reasons it's not as bad on Americans because you go to all these other countries that haven't been vaccinated against.
Well, and the Germans are like laughing at it. Literally, if you see the percentages and they're not lying, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
The fact is, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can.
The problem is like their numbers are all wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm not even getting into the numbers game. It's just because we've talked about it. It's a blanket test. Let's say you got the flu shot, you're going to test positive, and then let's say we've got a test that works that takes 3 weeks. Then we're going to hurry up and try to come up with a new test, and we don't know how that's going to work.
And they cut the test down to 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Really? What are you testing for?
Oh, yeah, that's the Irish supposedly 15-minute test on COVID-19.
Yeah, it's like
maybe coronavirus. 15 minutes, but
let's give him a prostate exam while he's here and passed out.
Yeah, but I mean that's just the problem. Like I've said it from day one, they're never going to tell us what really happened, because if President Trump came on TV and said China just did a bioweapon, you guys all know what's going to happen. Even the fucking Aussie knows. America's going to start fucking burning down Chinese restaurants and killing motherfuckers in the streets. That's what's going to happen.
Well, if you see how stupid we've been just with this non-event almost,
exactly.
I can't believe
there's such an overreaction to this. It's ridiculous.
It's been more dangerous, in my opinion, than the virus potentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't wait to see the percentage numbers of people that die from the virus directly versus the people that die due to the effects of the virus. Malnutrition, other diseases caused because of the inability to, live their lives like they normally would, get sun, get exercise. Yeah.
You're never going to see those figures. You're never going to see them.
Oh,
as far as they're concerned, it's like everybody that dies, it's this virus. It's like, that's bullshit.
No, that's why I'm fine if they do the rolling lockdown crap, but just fucking end this current bullshit as soon as possible, because we can't do 3 fucking months of this.
Well, I think they're going to have. They're going to have.
We're in for more.
They can't. You don't understand. There are imbeciles. 2 months of a die-hard lockdown is the most I think the American public can survive. Barely.
Think about it. I mean,
the way they're treating it, right? They're being very tight with the movement.
They're screening it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. We know they're screening it wrong, but that's what they're going to do. That's how they're keeping people locked in, Peabody, because of the fear. And they're saying, oh, all these numbers are high, so you motherfuckers got to stay into your houses. I mean, it was Fedorable the Horribles mentioned it, and I'm sorry, I'm not remembering what it was that went into when they passed, 51, whatever the hell the code was that they passed and gave Donald Trump complete power. We do not have civil rights anymore during this time frame, and people don't seem to understand that. And it literally, you are stuck in your houses. You're going to do what the government says. Granted,
at the federal level, he can do whatever the hell he wants. At the state level, there's still lawsuits because of not the crap that would have happened in Louisville, Kentucky over Easter would have been a massacre almost.
Yeah,
essentially. So thanks to the courts still working, overriding their bullshit at the state level, at least in America, it still functions. But yes, the governors and the president have more power than they should right now, even though it's not wartime. So it's going to be up to the courts to balance their bullshit.
But
I'm stuck in my house because of a Chinese-made shower screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but because of the fact that, and that's the thing, though, we're stuck in our houses because they say you're stuck in your houses, and we haven't had it. Like every state's got it different, and I know that. Like the UK's got it worse.
Yeah, you definitely want to be in the South, damn near, with this shit the way it's been going.
I'm serious.
In Florida, you can go golfing and fucking hunting because it's considered essential.
Yep.
No, I'm serious because I'm actually literally stuck.
You do that in another state, you're going to get fined for $1,000. If you're lucky, that's it.
Well,
that's nuts.
You're getting off lightly because in Australia, the fine's much higher.
Oh, I know. Alaska's $5,000 and Australia's some ridiculous insane.
I mean, why is Alaska? Why is Alaska on lockdown?
Australia is up to $50,000.
What?
Yes.
$50,000.
$50,000. That'll make people stay the fuck in their house. Yeah, even more than jail time because that one's a glaring number.
Well, the good news is all they have to do is go in their backyard and kill something, and it should be fine, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Just go kill a bobcat or something. An alligator, or crocodile, or some other kind of lizard animal.
But
I'm exaggerating and wrong, probably.
As Adam knows that I'm stuck in my house because I got attacked by a shower screen that was made in China.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I told you, man, and that's the funny thing. You get attacked by a shower screen. So basically, for those of you trying to figure out what we're talking about, it's basically the sliding shower doors. And he got attacked by one, and it didn't fall outside the shower; it fell inside on his foot. The glass didn't break, but yeah, it did fall on his foot. Here, this is the greatest shit ever. So the Whirlpool dryer broke, the Samsung oven broke, and then the electric decided to take a crazy shit and fry out half of the shit.
Not the Samsung.
Yeah, actually, Riot, the thing that started this whole thing in the United States, I want to say, is those spring breakers that ruined the beach for us locals.
Well, it was contained to Miami and Dade County, thankfully.
Yeah, but it kind of did spread back to New York and other places.
Yeah, not really. It was already there.
Yeah, I gotta agree with BJ there.
No,
yeah.
The best thing for a virus is UV light and fresh air.
Down our beaches, man. I mean, come on.
The beaches are still open. What are you talking about? In certain places, yeah.
Certain places, the places where I want to get to. I mean,
no, they don't like anyone in Central Florida. Apparently, governor's like, fuck that.
Our beaches are restricted, but it's like the best thing for a virus is fresh air and UV light.
Yeah, that's why it's stupid when they don't allow it.
And what are they telling people? It's like, stay away from the beaches. Stay away from the beaches. It's like, and they are separating from the. They are separating on the beaches, so. They're doing the best thing.
What do you think? I mean, you're a nurse. What do you think salt water will do to it? Like being in the actual ocean.
It fucks it up.
I would think so. Yeah.
Give me. It doesn't kill it. It moves it off you, and because it's in the salt water, it eventually denatures the virus. So it's like the best thing for people is the fucking beach.
Go.
Well, that's the thing that's drove me nuts is they're going conventional things that should work against a flu virus don't work, and then they babble about it being mutated. But
they're full of shit.
Yeah, think about it. If it
when you see the original variant of this thing to where it's gotten now, it's just easier to attach to. But it's not like some super special. Super powered monster, still at its core the same thing. So when they say the crap they say, they're full of shit. And
but you can
see the research reports clearly stating that.
What
so you can refute the doctors right in their face.
What they are saying is an RNA virus, which is different. How do I explain this? An RNA virus, it works on the inside, and it works. What's the terminology? You've got basically energy units in your body. They're called I can't remember the name, but RNA. That's what they deal with. So when the RNA gets affected in those mitochondria, that fucks you up big time. So this is they're calling this an RNA virus. So if it goes into the mitochondria and it affects the RNA in there, then it's really, really bad. But there's two different types of viruses. One works on DNA, one works on RNA. RNA is much worse. Sorry, I don't. I'm not explaining myself.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's why SARS they reacted the way they did to it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're right. SARS. But Yeah, I didn't explain it all that well.
Basically, it's potentially more dangerous than a normal flu. Once it's inside of you, and if you don't defeat it, pretty much, it'll be vicious. That's why this thing, after weeks, if you're not able to deal with it, your body, then eventually you develop pneumonia, and then the pneumonia plus all the other complications is what actually is a huge part of killing your ass.
Yeah,
that plus the T cell situation also does not help.
Oh either. Yep. But what happens is your body goes through different levels, right? So when something invades your body defends itself on the first level, right? If that fails, your body goes to the second level, right, which is much higher. When it goes to the third level, that's when the pneumonia comes into play. That's when your body sends everything it's got, and unfortunately, it actually attacks your own membranes. So that's the problem. But
and that's what's been killing people to an extent, because going through that process is a bitch.
Yes, but the fact is, we've all been exposed to a coronavirus, so we all are going to experience different levels of infection. So I mean, all our bodies they remember exactly what's happened before. So some bodies are going to say, "Oh, we've seen this before. This is fuck all," and some bodies are going to say, "We've never had this before. We're fucked." Do you know what I mean? It's like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, and luckily it's that, not something worse.
Yeah,
which is fucked up saying that statement, but
I think that they're gonna hopefully if they're smart, because I know there's a struggle right now within the administration, within the levels of government, between people that just want to get back to normal, like almost all of us everyday folk, and then people that really want to push for more government control of movement, and pushing for digital currency and a new world order and things like that. Because right now it's like a battle for the soul of America, and it's an internal battle, and people are trying to choose their words very carefully.
I sure as hell not, because I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't, and I know I don't.
Right.
I know we don't.
So
I'm talking about the people in the echelons of government.
Well,
yeah, those worried about the future dystopian society can go fuck themselves. I'm worried about the pre-dystopian society we're kind of going through right now, and hopefully it doesn't become fully realized, because then, well, shit, it would not be fun. At least according to all those stupid books and movies.
And this just kills all the stupid people, and then we can get back to normal. Kind of fine.
Oh no, this will kill a good chunk of all the people. Everyone will fucking die if it goes full electric boogaloo, as some have stated it.
Well, as I said, this is just
The Walking Dead is a good view of how this would look.
This is just the first wave. It's going to go through a second time, and it's definitely going to go through a third time.
And I think by the third time, I think by the third time, I mean, there'll be less people that'll be prone to the infection. I mean, more people.
By the third time, will. But what I'm saying is, like, this is a coronavirus, right? Coronaviruses have been around for thousands of years, and we've all had a cold, right? This is not. This is just a first wave, and it's going to go through a second wave. It's going to go through a third wave. It's going to go through fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. But by the time we're going to build up an immunity to it.
And it'll seasonalize too.
Yes. So, yeah, people, this is just the beginning.
Oh, it's the worst part, because it's the fewest people that have it.
Yeah,
so exactly.
So basically, it's like...
So I just want to put out some hope, because this is the worst part of it, if we don't go full retard and don't act like idiots. So after this, it'll be less people and the percentage will be lower every time because already a good chunk of the population has gone through it. Yeah.
Well, the fact is, people, it's like, I don't know about you or me. What I'm saying is, I wash my hands all the time because I was trained as a nurse. I was trained as a nurse,
That's
and I wash
another
my hands all
unbelievable
the
part.
time.
How bad apparently current society is with that. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
And now they're coming out and saying, "Wash your hands, wash your hands." It's like duh.
Well, that's the thing, though. And then instead of bars making liquor, they're making hand sanitizers, which isn't cleaning your fucking hands. Soap and water, wash your hands.
Oh, like I wish I would have filmed the guy with my phone when I was on that cruise ship, because there was this one guy that worked up in the galley where the buffet was, the cafe buffet or whatever. But I don't know what country he was from, but he was a little light in the loafers, if you get what I mean. But anytime someone would come in and they go towards the sink, he's like, "Washy washy, you gotta washy washy before yummy yummy. Thank you for washy washy." And and like everybody knew who he was, because like just the whole cruise, everybody's like washy washy.
That doesn't make any sense, because washy washy means washy washy before you prepare the food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, yeah, I hope everybody wash. I hope they wash their hands before they prepare the food.
You'd
I mean,
be
I know I
surprised
wash my
how
hands
many
before I got
people
my food.
don't actually wash their hands before they prepare food. That's why I don't go and eat at restaurants, because I wash my hands every step of the way when I prepare food.
All right, so check this out. I must play this small clip because this makes me laugh. This is a 19-year-old clip from a show.
Go. Fuck you do. I'm ready. Wash my hands. You just washed your hands. Then I tied my shoes.
Sopranos?
I can't stand touching fucking shoelaces. Ever go to tie your shoes and you notice the end of your laces are wet? Come on. Why would they be wet? I got no fucking idea. You go to public bathrooms, you stand at the urinal. Oh, fuck, come on, will you? He's asking me, I'm telling him. Frankly, it's important. Even if the lace is dry, and even if you don't touch the body of the shoe, bacteria and viruses migrate from the sole up. You see this on TV? I gotta watch TV to figure out the world. Your average men's shithouse is a fucking sewer. You look at ladies' johns, you could eat maple walnut ice cream from the toilets. There's exceptions. But a men's, piss all over the fucking floor. Urinals jammed with cigarettes and mothball cakes. And they can pour all the fucking ice they want down there, my friend. It does nothing to kill germs. Even if you keep your shoes tied and you're not dragging your laces through urine, shut the fuck up.
He's correct.
But that's what I mean. That was from 19 years ago, and yet they're still not smart enough to understand about washing their hands.
Well, the fact is, anything below, I think it's either 2 feet or 2.5 feet. Everything below 2 feet or 2.5 feet in a hospital is considered contaminated. It's like it as far as everything goes. So when you've got a hospital trolley, everything below, I'm pretty sure it's 2.5 feet, but it might be 2 feet. Everything below that is considered contaminated, so you don't touch it. If it drops on the floor, you leave it and go.
Well, like I said, I started watching Sopranos again because it's just, I own it. I love it. It's a great series. And when that's season 3, episode 1, which premiered in 2001, and I just died laughing when that part came. I knew it was coming up, but it's like I sat there and I watched it. And I'm like, I have to save that for the next time we do a Cantina, because it's just so funny that, 19 years ago that aired. And yet here we are telling people to wash their fucking hands, where Paulie Walnut, that's who that was, the character, is sitting there explaining to you, why he likes to wash his hands. I got to watch a TV show in order to tell you how to, the world works. No. So, it's just literally one of those, but that's where we're at today, where people don't wash their hands and they think that hand sanitizers are going to cut it. And it doesn't, as we've discussed numerous times. That shit is not good for your hands.
No, it strips away the oils and the protection. So you strip away all that. It's easier for something to get on that surface, a lot easier. You wash your hands, what it does is it lifts the stuff and it just rinses it away. And then but you still have your protective oils. You put alcohol on it, it strips that away. And so you're more susceptible to getting things on you quicker. Like quicker, not only quicker, but it's like, even, I mean, okay, you put bleach on something. Are you still going to take that thing that you put bleach on and put in your mouth? No, that's still disgusting. That's still disgusting.
Well, Mr. Peabody had me dying because shit was happening over there before here. And he's like, yeah, there's a girl at the store that's, taking the damn wipes and wiping down the carts, and they're getting paid to do that. Not that shit's helping. And, I was like, man, that's nuts. I hadn't seen it. About a week later, I went into a Martin's grocery store, and sure as shit, there's a lady wiping off with hand sanitizer wipe, which I just don't grab carts. Like, if I go to the store, like, oh man, girls, you would fucking hate me. I go into the store, I walk and I get like 2-3 items. I get my shit, I get out, I'm done. Like, I know what I'm going in for. I'm a man on a mission, not touch cards.
That's any guy. It's like we go in and we get what we need and we leave. We don't hang around.
DJ D will understand this. Have you been to a Publix lately?
No.
Okay. Well,
Other
I don't know if
people
you
have been, and I've seen outside. Like, for instance, social distancing, they're not really doing a good job of it. So,
No.
And half the people, if they're lucky, have masks. Right? So they're doing the whole thing that was ridiculous when it was stated. Oh, just put anything on your face. It's okay. See, if they try to find people for not putting a face mask on, they can go to hell in general. That's hopefully someone has a decent lawyer with that situation, because it's bullshit.
Yep.
Like, you find someone for a fucking face mask violation, you are fucking insane. And I hope you lose some serious money to that individual, be it at the state or local level. It's a ridiculous goddamn thing. It has no effect on the damn thing at all. Other than just cover up your mouth, whatever the fuck. I know that what they're saying is if they have it and they cough, then it prevents a little bit of it going out in the air, some bullshit. Like, so yes, some makeshift thing, fine. But don't find people for not having the ideal thing. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, DJ D.
No, I know it's like all.
Publix is only letting a few people in the store at one time. They're taking people's temperatures and things like that.
Oh wow! Now, that didn't happen.
I had to go to the store the other day. I didn't go to Publix, but can you guess where I went out of all the places?
Walmart or something?
I went to Winn-Dixie.
Oh, Winn-Dixie still exists. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, they're still how you expect. But I was able to get what I needed and got.
Winn-Dixie's desperate, so yeah.
I was so gonna guess Piggly Wiggly.
Publix delivers too. That's the other part of it. So yeah, I did have Publix delivery. It's not as expensive as I thought either. So it is kind of, if it's just a once a month thing and you get it all in one day, it's not bad. It was better than expected. Definitely in the future, wherever I'm at, I'm gonna look for supermarket delivery options if it's not cheap. I mean, if it's cheap.
Well, Adam, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead.
Amazon's a disaster area right now to get the actual things you need. Jesus.
Guess what I did?
Good night, guys.
Good night, buddy. Brian's got him off.
See you, Brian.
See you, Brian.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey,
I appreciate talking to you guys anytime.
Yep.
Let's get together and try to do that wrestling stream.
That'd be fun.
No wrestling. Yeah. No wrestling.
Yes, wrestling.
Got to do it for the common man.
The common man.
The common man.
But yeah, get all
take Ric Flair to the pay window. I'm American Dream.
Let me know what your schedule looks like this week.
On the mothership.
Saturday night. I'm gonna drop some beers on you.
Well, we're gonna do that during the day while you're sleeping.
Thursday sounds good. That sounds like a good day to do it.
All right, brother.
Thursday for the drop beer is not a problem.
Later.
Later.
Yeah,
take care.
I know that your American wrestling skills weren't quite there, so I messaged with Brian, was like, hey, we should definitely maybe try to get Jesse in on that, because the three of us were kind of going at it, left you in the corner, and you're like, okay, no more wrestling. Like, all right, man, no problem.
Yeah.
But, I'll probably do that on my
Yeah,
end.
Jesse's cool.
The fact is, I had no reference. I didn't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I've got no interest in it. So, but if you want to do a wrestling thing, not a problem.
Yeah. Like I said, we were talking about doing it during the day, so it'd be while you were sleeping, anywho. But it was just one of those we were laughing. I was like, hey man, we did pretty good with that wrestling, little skit. Maybe we should get together and have a wrestling stream. And then he was actually playing wrestling games and streaming it on his channel. So I was like, man, we should definitely do a wrestling stream. And yeah,
and probably Odin would like that as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because we were talking old school wrestling, not the crap of today.
No, that was a joke. Yeah, I saw highlights of the last one. Wow, that was horrific.
That's why I brought up the old school wrestling where, it's like it was Nikolai and some of the dude in Australia way back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And, I said, well, we could hear everything they said to each other.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's like, hi, baby. I want to take you and throw you over there. And the other guy would say, oh, I want you to do it so badly.
Well, that's gay as fuck. No other way to say it. No other way to say it.
It's basically, it's like, I'm going to throw you like this and I'm going to do this. And the other guy would say, all right. And it's like, because I was like in the second or third row, and it's like, what? Are these guys fighting, or are they having some sort of ballet?
Both. It's a fighting ballet.
But they're throwing each other all around the place. But every move they made, they told each other what they're going to do, and it's like, so wrestling, not so much for me.
Yeah, that was a good old 80s style. But yeah, like I said, that was one of those things where we were discussing that. Thought, that might be something we could do. Got to do something when the Aussie's sleeping.
Well, the fact is, like, it's like, but he brought up a good point. The fact is, a lot of it is choreographed, right? In the case where I saw it live, it was not choreographed, so they had to talk to each other.
Well, today they do more choreographing. Yeah, back then they just pretty much bounced it off each other while they were in the ring. All right, I'm gonna do this, do that, do this, do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so it's a dating thing. So it's like, so I'm not that far out of kilter here.
No. What you saw in the 80s was 80s wrestling. 90s it changed. 2000s it's changed all the way up till today. 2020 it's changed. Where it's basically a ballet. Of them fighting. Granted, their bodies still go through, as fake as it is, you still get injuries. That's impossible not to have.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the current stay-at-home bullshit. It's, it's all fake and they're kind of doing stuff. There's injuries sometimes, maybe deaths, but it's mostly all bullshit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like wrestling right now. Hey, guess who could do everything and have WrestleMania?
Here we go.
That is a perfect. God, well, it's similar
here we
comparison
go.
to the current shit. Yeah,
DJ, I have you in the corner, and I'm walking up to you, and I say, DJ, I'm going to touch your pee-pee.
Well, that might happen next. I mean, since the throat one isn't working right, testing things, they might touch the pee-pee. It's like, look, so we can get it done in 2 minutes. Maybe 5. We're gonna touch your pee-pee to get the COVID-19.
That's right,
It will definitely work. It's much more accurate and faster.
Drop your pants.
He didn't back down at all. He went right with it and he followed through. The whole fucking story. That was fucking brilliant.
Drop your pants. See this big Q-tip? It's going right in your pee hole, and then we'll know the test results. In 15
and then we've got this big fucking nasal thing that goes up your nose to test for COVID-19.
which is utterly fucking ridiculous.
And while we've got your pants down, we might as well go ahead and do that colonoscopy that we were discussing. You know,
that's always fun because I've already had one of those.
I mean, nothing like having
Oh, that's another disgusting thing. It's like the technology exists so you don't have to do the brutal thing anymore. It's literally there's a pill that you're supposed to be able to take, and then that does it, and it doesn't hurt like hell. But no, the pill obviously is ungodly expensive, and they're no, we'll go back to the fucking tube, gigantic thing inside of you instead of the robotic little bloody pill.
Well, do you think that the insurance companies want to actually pay for shit that's easy? Of course not.
No, they want the one that you go through hell.
Yeah,
I don't mind it so much, but a little bit more foreplay that would be good.
Oh, you told me it was just the entire film crew that was there was the problem. It wasn't the doctor or the nurses. It was just that.
Oh, it's like when they did it to me, it's like they did both ends at the same time, so I was completely wiped out.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. So I told them to go fuck themselves the next time. I was like, no, I don't need it. If I die, shit happens. I'm not doing it again.
At least take me to dinner, maybe. Maybe a couple of drinks. A bit of foreplay.
Yeah, I just think it's unnecessary to go both holes. Yeah, pick one, go that one, but both holes you can go to hell and die. Technology exists, like I said. Take the stupid robot camera pill, and it fixes it, and you see everything, and then you crap it out, and the test results are done.
Yeah, no, but according to my last visit to the hospital, she wants me to do the whole thing again.
All right, she just hates you. She just hates you.
She fucking hates me with a passion.
And the insurance companies are going wild. They're saying, "Yeah, we're going to get him again. It's been 2 years. Might as well."
It was like, well, we took too long from his last test to get to examine him, and now because we took too long, let's just send him for more tests.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going right up his kazoo and down his throat too.
Oh yeah.
There it is. Fucking pill cam, it's called. That little sumbitch. That should be the fucking one for everyone. Everyone should have that. Make big money, not the other shit. Enough of this bullshit. I'm sure it would be good for other things too, and just a colonoscopy. So there, pill cam away. Make that big money. I'm not getting paid with no promo, and I getting paid by pill cam. I just want men not going through bullshit hell anymore.
Right.
It's like, no, thank you. Women too. Like I'm sure they have to do it on occasion also.
Oh yeah. Colonoscopy. Yeah, that's not just for the male. Yeah, it's for both.
Oh, I love this one bullshit study says. I'm sure the study wasn't at all funded by the bastards that would like the colonoscopy. It said pill cam works, but not as well as colonoscopy. Horse shit. It's going through the same area. It's doing the same job. Horse shit. Make the tech on the pill cam better, but eventually the pill cam will be the thing, and this antiquated shit will go bye-bye. It's like, imagine using the very early tools of surgery still. It's asinine when you have much better technology. Oh, let's not use lasers. Let's not do LASIK surgery to fix the eye. Let's get like a screwdriver to fix their eyeballs. Or some shit.
No. You've already said the perfect thing. It's asinine.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Colonoscopy. It's asinine. I tell you what. When I had the colonoscopy, it's like what they didn't tell me before I had it is that they were going to start scraping shit off my ass and take fucking samples. They didn't mention anything like that. They said, okay, we're going to shove something up your ass and we're going to shove something down your throat and we're going to do this. But they didn't say anything about cutting shit off.
Well, that's a whole different animal.
Yeah, it's like I understand what they did, but it's like they didn't tell me they were going to do it. And being a
No,
nurse,
they don't. They're cunts.
no. But being a nurse, anytime that I had to put anybody into an operation of any sort, I had to explain exactly what was going to happen. So, what happened when I went in there? They didn't say anything about cutting pieces off. They didn't say anything about, doing this or doing that. They just said, we're going to shove this up your ass and it's going down your throat. That's all they said. As I said, when I was a nurse, I had to explain to people before they went into an operation exactly what was going to happen. So what the fuck happened?
Well, they figured since you were a nurse, you kind of knew what was coming.
Yeah, standards have been relaxed.
Even if they knew you were a nurse,
lowered,
even if I was a fucking doctor, they would still have to explain it to me, because the fact is, in order to sign off on the paperwork, you have to be told fully what's going to happen. They didn't tell me all that stuff.
Well, surprise!
Surprise! Whilst we're in there, we cut some shit off.
Where's Waldo? Well, he's not up your bunghole. So, apparently they didn't have to, because they still get you.
Oh yeah, they still do crap like that in America, though. If it's something that you're not going to really need, and it's some tiny little thing along the way, they'll just cut that thing right off. You don't need it, so it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Save you time.
That's okay.
That way
was
they don't
only
have to do it in the future. Yeah.
Just cut away on that. That's just my brain stem.
They did that shit to me where
when it comes to Congress and certain parts of the currently the White House, I'd say that they're not going to need it. Yeah, because they're not using it. They're not using it. Fucking hell.
No, when it comes to politics, they're not using it anyway, so that doesn't matter.
Well, I had so the diabetic doctor wanted me to go and do it was basically a kidney doctor. Go to a kidney doctor. Okay, no big deal. So I go see this broad, and everything's going fine. And she's like, "Well, since your insurance is good, I'm going to send you for an ultrasound." And I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "Well, everything looks good, but you've got good insurance, so we'll send you for the ultrasound." Once again, my question is, well, why? If everything looks good, why are you doing that?
I do understand why.
Yeah, no, because I had good insurance. That was it. That was the only reason. I mean,
no.
Yeah. I flat out asked her. I said, "Why?" Because you have good insurance, so we're going to do an ultrasound. There was no issues with my kidneys. There's been no issues, no nothing. Been diabetic 35 years. They didn't find anything out of the ordinary. Everything was fine. And this was just a suggestion from the diabetic doctor just to go see one, because he would do his test. Everything was fine, but go ahead. We're going to get you set up with this lady. I go see this lady. She says everything's fine. Literally, her wording was, because your insurance is so good, we're going to go ahead and send you for an ultrasound. And I'm like, for what? What are you looking for? Nothing. But your insurance is good, so we're going to do it anyway. Fuck off. Which I actually was going to go do it until.
I do understand why they check your kidneys, but I'm wondering why they didn't check your liver at the same time.
Because there's no protein in my liver; it's in my kidneys.
I know that, but it's like but they do still check. It's all part of a cycle. The whole problem is.
Got the link to the next show. Creepy little fun bunch. I just want to go in there and chill for a second, tell them I'm not going to be on and leave. Sure, revenge, fuckers! No, I'm joking. I thought this thing is.
We're getting boring, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's not boring. I'm just going to go say hi to them and maybe come back.
You're good, DJ.
So, all right, see a few.
But yeah, that's how the game works in America. If you don't have good insurance, they won't send you for stuff. And then if you do, they'll send you for shit even though you don't need it. It wasn't anything that I needed. There wasn't any issues or anything like that. It's not like, all of a sudden there was something new that popped up. It was literally just, okay, we're going to do this because your insurance is good. I'm going to send you to a kidney doctor. I go to the kidney doctor. I do all the tests and all the bullshit she wants. And then at the end of the day, all the results came back fine. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Legitimately, she told me it was because I had good insurance. So she was going to go ahead and do it.
I understand that. It's like, but the fact is, like, look at it this way. With Australian health insurance, they send you for every test under the sun. And even though Dan says, "Oh, I got all these fucking tests and I couldn't pay for them," yeah, fucking bullshit. Of course, you got paid for them. And the fact is, Medicare in Australia covers the tests. It might not be upfront, but you can pay for the test and then get reimbursed. But they still send you for all the tests, especially if you are diabetic. They will send you for a kidney test. I can't explain why, but they check everything because what they're looking for is a drop in function. Because you have had diabetes for so long, they check to see that your kidneys are still functioning the way they were back when. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, the diabetic doctor does that every 3 months.
Oh, fair enough. But it's like, well, you didn't say that before. You just said that.
He referred exactly because my insurance, and that was the whole point. Because my insurance was so good at the time, I had, which you don't understand because American insurance, and I get that, but because I had like tier 1 insurance, so it covered everything, he sent me to a kidney doctor. Like I said, there wasn't an issue, there wasn't a problem. Every 3 months for the last 5 years, when I go in, they always check, kidney functions, everything. I mean, he does that. You get a full round workup every 3 months. So when I tell you I got to go every 3 months, I fucking hate going. You got to go in there, get labs done, piss in a fucking bottle. They check everything. They do, kidneys from your blood. They do it from urine, all that shit. And then he does up a thing and then, okay, everything looks fine. And then out of the blue, he said, well, I'm going to send you to a kidney doctor. Not that you need one, not that you need anything, but I'm just going to go ahead and send you to one so she can run some further tests. So then I did the further tests and they came back fine. And then the next step from them was, well, now we're going to send you for an ultrasound. And of course, me being me, I'm like, well, why? And well, for no reason, your insurance will pay for it. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, time out. If all my shit's good and you're not seeing anything wrong and you're telling me keep doing what I'm doing, the fuck are you sending me for an ultrasound? That kind of sounds weird to me. Yeah. And then she's like, no.
Now I've got the full picture. I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I didn't get the chance to finish earlier, but yeah, that's the whole thing, and that's why it didn't make any sense. It's like, wait a minute, so now you want me to do this shit because I've got good insurance. Now that I got fuck all insurance, I guarantee you they don't do that now. It's the bare fucking minimum. I'll go in, they'll do my labs for the A1C, they still check, kidney function, high blood pressure, so on and so forth, all that jazz. But I haven't since heard anything about like a kidney doctor because now I don't have that insurance that I had.
Well, that's basically OBS.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so, all right.
Yeah.
So I stand corrected. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. It's just funny because that's how the shit goes here, versus there, where like they're giving you all the shit too, and like in your poor situation, you've waited for years for this shit. Finally, you get to the doctor, like, oh, we need to redo the test. Look, motherfucker, you got the test from 2 years ago. You can fuck off. I already did this shit. It's not my fault that now you want it again. It's be like, no, I don't want to do it.
the fact is like the test they're talking about, I have to go under general anesthetic and be knocked out. And I have to go into a hospital and get knocked out and go into an operational theater. And at the moment, they don't want to do that.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Jay, because I talked to him, Jay Clark, and like he said, he was so mad because he's been going through all the stuff he's going through, which I'm not going to, say on here, but the aqua therapy and some of the rehab stuff that he needs to do from after his surgeries, they're not doing it because of the COVID shit. And he's like, I'm so pissed off about this. He goes, because it's going to set me back. He's like, I was doing so good and getting so far, and then now I can't do any of the shit that I want to do. Like he said, why can't you just have 1 or 2 people come in, do their therapy, go clean everything up, bring in 1 or 2 more people. Like in his eyes, he's not understanding either. He's like, this shit doesn't make any sense to me. And I got to agree with the guy because this is going to fuck up his recovery, and the back and everything's all healed and better, but now he's, rebuilding his muscles up and whatnot. So it's like, holy shit.
Isn't a lot of his therapy in a chlorine pool?
Yeah, some of it was, yeah. So you can't even do the aqua therapy.
No, well, that will kill the virus.
I know, but they're not even doing it. That's the whole problem. That's what he was telling me the other day. It's just like, I don't get it. He goes, let's say that you got to do, he's like, let's say me and like 1 or 2 other people are all in there doing our aqua therapy. Then we leave. They could clean up and then have 3 more people or 4 more people or however many, I'm assuming they're full-size Olympic size pools. So you could fit quite a few fucking people in there to do their therapy.
Yeah. You fit a few people in there.
Yeah. And even he's saying, put 4 people in there and then clean up, whatever you got to do to.
Well, you don't even need to clean up. It's like the only thing you need to clean up is the apparatus used to get them into the pool and get them out of the pool.
Yeah. I'm not meaning clean the pool. Exactly. That's what I'm talking, stuff helping them getting in and out, wherever they got rubbed down. Cause usually they do, massages and stuff after they do the workouts, they shower and then got massages and, from what he's told me. So even if you had to clean all the tables and all that stuff afterwards, while the next set of people are going in and getting dipped in the pool and doing their work, you could clean this stuff up. And, for me, it makes sense what he was saying. I don't know why they're not doing it.
I love how you say getting dipped in the pool.
Yeah. Here's the apparatus. They pick you up.
We pick him up and we dip in the pool a couple of times, like a tea bag, and he's fine.
Yeah, well, if they need special equipment to help get him in, that's all I'm referring to. But
you do need special equipment to get them in and out.
Yeah.
But once again, the stuff that they're putting in the pool is the same stuff that's on the people, so it's still basically sterile.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, that was the thing that that he was telling me anyhow. And like I said, he's doing okay from when I talked to him, and he's alive and well, and which is good. But he was just frustrated and flustered with it. And I'm like, no, I feel you, brother, because to me, I would want you to be doing the aqua therapy because you've been doing it. And now we're going, about a month, so he has to do it.
We wanted to keep him up because we want him back.
Well, he's doing better. I mean, like he's able to drive himself now. So he is doing a lot better. So, he doesn't go on far trips or nothing. He'll go to the grocery store or go get something to eat or whatnot, but he's able to drive himself now. So he is doing a lot better from when we first met him.
That's a lot better. Yeah.
He's,
before he was in a chair and that was it.
Yep. And now he's able to move around a whole lot more and do stuff. Like he said, he's like, I'm slow. He goes, I can't do anything about that. And I go, no, I got you. But, after the back injury and everything else. So, I mean, he is doing a lot better. He was just flustered and asked me how I was doing. And I told him doing good and, shot the shit with him for a bit. And then his dad called him and haven't heard back from him. He's a couple hours behind me, but it was just good to hear from him that he was doing all right. And, same as everybody else that's, dealing with all this craziness that we're all dealing with. Everybody seems to be doing all right. And, I've been blessed that I haven't lost anybody due to COVID-19 and or anything else, just walking out and having a tree fall on top of me or anything. So, that
always sucks when a tree falls on you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had a lot of storms and tornadoes up over this way, and, we haven't gotten the house picked up, and next thing you know, all the little wiener dogs are in Oz. So
no, that was big news in Australia. The fact that a house got picked up and left in the middle of the highway. I don't know if you got that there, but it's like we saw the image of a house left in the middle of a highway. And as far as we're concerned, that's a motorhome.
Probably. Very good possibility that it was. But, it's just, I mean, like when you told me, the first thing you heard, breaking news, man dies. Shark attack.
Shark attack.
I mean, it's bad that's the relief, though. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, a shark ate him? Holy shit. Well, it sucks for his family, but,
It was not a virus. It was a shark.
Shark got him. Yeah. It was literally one of those where it's like, wait a minute, because we don't ever hear that. And, it's so, not what you hear on the news anymore. So it's kind of like, all right, cool. You know, outside of, you know, the economy or, you know, this is what's going on, that's what's going on, you know, it is amusing in the aspect of people that aren't used to being at home that are now stuck at home and going nuts though. That shit is, I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I've got my own personal laughs on that. And many streams I've been in there saying, yeah, you know what Frank's got to say is, yeah, now you humans know what we dogs feel like when you leave us home all the time alone. So, you know, but yeah, at the end of the day, it sucks.
You know, when I used to leave Puppy home alone, the back door was open, so he could come and go as he pleased. And as I said, as you know, on Saturday, he used to go to the football to eat everybody's dogs. It's like he'd go to eat everybody's hot dogs they get at the football. It's like he'd walk up and say, I'm starving. I'm starving.
And they go, here you go, lassie, have a hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he'd have this look on his face like, oh, I'm so hungry. But he was never fucking hungry. I used to feed him. I used to feed him like fucking cattle. It's like, like he was, but he had this look on his face, like, okay, well, and so I knew that when I go in the backyard on Saturday morning, and he was missing, I knew exactly where to go pick him up. So, you know, I just walk. You know, I mean, I drive down, I get out of the car and I walk around the field, and I go. And then he'd come running up. It's like, puppy, what are you doing? I was just getting some food. It's like, you don't get enough food at home? Well, I do, but it's so much nicer when strangers give it to me. It's like that's all I do. I just walk up and I go. I do a clicking noise with my mouth, and he'd come running. It's like, I know that noise. I'm going to him. Like, puppy, what are you doing? I'm sorry. He always had this look on his face like, did I do bad? It's like, well, you know, there's a possibility you could have been picked up by the ranger. Which means that I would have to pay a fine to get you out again. Because I mean, the last time he was with the ranger, I was lucky because my girlfriend at the time, I sent her down to, you know, talk to the guys when he got picked up, and I mean, I said, this is what you got to explain. It's like he's got long hair. So the collar tangles around his neck, and so that's why we don't have a collar on him. But he is registered, but my girlfriend at the time got him out of the clink. You know, she worked it so well that she got him out of the clink, and then so when he goes to the football every Saturday, it's like,
right.
Puppy, you could end up in the clink again, and I don't have the same girlfriend, and you know, there's a big fine, you know. But it was classic when it happened. But I'm going on. That's right. The Aussie is rambling again.
Well, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and wrap up since we've been running for almost 2 hours, 18 minutes. We'll let these fine people that were so kind enough to join us tonight, Riot Kitty, Tommy, my favorite belly button, the sexiest bionic belly button that we always have and all love, not to mention DJ D, Brian the Observer. Great thanks to everybody for tuning in and hanging out, listen to us, just kind of BS through this fun time. Heather Bell, Chef jumped in and was kind enough to leave some beautiful words. So we greatly appreciate everybody for hanging out and listening to us ramble on and just have fun. And until the next one, you guys all take care and peace out, everybody. Don't want to forget Proper Jeremy.